as a society, when we sort of start to look at like the development of self, and if say we're conflict avoidant, it's sort of the easy thing to look at is like, okay, well, the pendulum needs to swing and I just need to address every conflict that comes up in the moment. And I'll be 100% honest with you guys. Like, I still don't like being in conflict a good share of the time. And one of the patterns that I even see for myself, I don't know if this is relevant for you guys, but when I first meet somebody, I am a little bit more cautious. Like, I probably will have a bit more of the nice guy tendencies show up because I'm sort of feeling that person out. And then over time, I get a little bit more comfortable. And then obviously with the development that I've done, now I'm actually getting much more comfortable. I know that I'm safe and that I can address things with the person in front of me. And that shows up for me. And that's my work in a sense, I would say, of like being able to be in a first conversation with somebody or even earlier in that process to just speak to what needs to be spoken to in the room. And so where I'll sort of look at this from the other side of it is that, again, it's very easy that if we're conflict avoidant to be like, well, I have to just address everything that shows up in every moment. And if I don't do that, I'm a failure. And I think it's really like a building process where start to actually get present to where am I actually avoiding the conflict in my life? Is it with my boss? Is it with my mom and dad? Is it with my wife? And starting to just see where the patterns are. And then from there, that's where we can start to ease into, okay, what does actually need to be addressed? Where can I start with this? And maybe it's a first conversation, or maybe you don't necessarily address the big thing, but you start with a smaller thing. It's sort of that building process. And then the other side that I'll speak to is that if you find that stepping into a certain conflict feels a little bit too big, or even in the moment, you're like, ah, I didn't show up as I wanted to, understanding that there's always opportunity to come back. I find this a lot with guys where they kind of feel like, hey, I had this conversation with my wife. She didn't treat me well, and I didn't address it in the moment. And then now what do I do? I don't feel like I can bring it back up. Well, no, that's actually the opportunity there is really speaking to, hey, we had this conversation 3 days ago. I didn't address this then, but this is the impact that it had on me, and I want to speak about it now. I really do think that one of the things that can really help us is understanding that we can have time, we can have spaciousness. There can be opportunities for us that if maybe we don't address the conflict in this moment, we can come back to it at another moment.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed that video, I think you'll enjoy this one as well. And while you're at it, please subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate it.